box was full of smugglers, but there was no one at the checkpoint. The police chief knew that the box must have been modified, so he called a subordinate to enter the bottom of the box. He came to the outside of the box and then ordered his subordinates to shoot. The position of the bullet hole explained everything in an instant. He returned to the box and issued a warning. If you don't come out obediently, shoot immediately. But the stealer knew in his heart that it was hard to escape even if he couldn't get out. Naya found that there was still space above the wooden box, so he climbed up first. The impatient police chief was about to order, but the iron door was suddenly opened, and there was no suspense here. The police officer finished the girl's life with a gun. Then the order began to clear. The bullet went through the iron plate and shot into the house. Everyone was shot into a sieve in an instant. Mia's hands were tightly covering her mouth. She was afraid that there would be a little noise. In the end, even the lucky child survived. It was hard to escape the gunshot. After the police officer took people away, she shivered and took out her cell phone. She sent a voice message to her husband, telling him to hurry up and find a place to hide. Otherwise, she would be shot. At first, she and her husband were actually in the same container. Unexpectedly, the tongue opened the box door again. More thieves rushed in at once. After a moment of chaos, Nick was arranged by Snake to another box, so the two were completely separated. At this time, there was only Mia left in the box, and the dream journey of this life and death journey began. The husband is dead or alive, he doesn't know, and can only leave everything to God, but God doesn't seem to care about him. There was a storm that night, and the ship was swaying on the sea. In order to keep the ship, the captain had to order to abandon some containers, and Mia's box was in it. When he woke up the next day, it was already dawn, and the whole container rotated 180 degrees. He looked out through the hole in the shell and found that it was a mess around him. She wanted to contact her husband, but her phone screen was broken. She took out her spare phone, but forgot the password. What's worse is the baby in her belly. It's been a long time since there's been any movement. At this time, the seawater is still constantly flowing in. She immediately opened the wooden box to search for supplies. A box was filled with plastic bags. The other box was a sports jacket. There was even a box of liquid crystal TV, but there was no food or drink. She came to explain that the seal was leaking. At this time, there was a hoarse voice from the outside. She looked out and found that it was the 107th box where her husband was, and it was going down quickly at this time. In no time, it disappeared into the sea.